What's this furry thing right here? Is that someone else's tail? And Steve and T-Rex. Watch out, Mitt. Triple hop. 1, 2, 3, and out. The T-Rex triple hop on a Friday. Then there's the Mitt waddle. They don't call them Maine Coon cats for nothing. They walk like raccoons. And last out the door. Let's go, Steve. Out the door. Weather and more on a Friday. Setting up for a pretty nice weekend. Lots of curiosity, though, in the weather department. 67 degrees. The weather is always curious and fascinating. Look at the different levels of altocumulus and cirrus and altostratus. We got gulls. We break for gulls. There's the view of the bottom of the cloud. Here's the view of the top of the cloud from space. The Goes East satellite, when the sun was coming up, look at that graded texture, almost like the waves of sand at the beach, right? With the shadow being cast. So that cloud that stretches from southern New York into Maine, it's a mid-level cloud, and it's casting a shadow over Vermont and New York. That's what that is. And how about the cloud from below as the sun was coming up? At Ogunquit, Maine, Rick Barber is there every morning, and it lit up. So the sun got on the bottom of the cloud and lit it up orange this morning, and now it's lighting it up with blue and alto Q and a really fun sky, almost a mackerel sky. And they say about mackerel sky, not 24 hours dry. That's a saying about that. But I don't agree. I think we're going to be dry for 24 hours. But it might rain tomorrow night. That's been a change to the forecast. And everyone's talking about the Fujiwara. Danielle Muir on the radio this morning is talking about a Fujiwara effect with two storms merging for one huge storm off the southeastern United States. I don't know who started that rumor, but I don't see it. I haven't seen it in any guidance. What is a Fujiwara, you ask? That's when two storms circulate around one another, potentially becoming a ginormous single storm. And it happened once near here, within about 500 miles, late October 1991. Everyone remembers what's now called the perfect storm. I called it the Halloween hurricane back then because a hurricane and another cold core storm merged for the perfect storm. And we have the perfect Montauk daisy just about to open. And it's going to be a good weekend for it. Here's the map this afternoon with mild air. I didn't show it, but we're in the 60s this morning, going for the 70s to near 80, with dual fronts. The front that brought all the rain yesterday is off to our south, and this next front is going to kind of just fall apart right over us. That's the reason for the clouds right now. And you have the two highs, one on the north side of the front, one on the south side of the front over the Great Lakes. They're going to turn into one high, and it's not cold air. It's nice, warm air. And so here's the meteogram for Nashua, New Hampshire. The temperature pretty close to 80 today. Dew point comes down from about 62 to 58 or so. And the temperature still 75 to 80. Now it does show raindrops tomorrow night. The GFS was on this first, that we might get clipped with a wave coming back on the front as it tries to lift back to the north. But any rain that does happen in New England, mostly southern New England tomorrow night, will be gone by Sunday morning. And Sunday back into the 70s. And then look at that. We're looking at 70s to near 80 for a lot of days next week, and cools off about Wednesday or so as we get a hurricane repellent high pressure system coming to New England. How many times have we said that? All right, lost track of the things I wanted to talk about. The hurricanes, the hurricane potential, hey Steve, is real for the southeastern United States. The really big picture. Post-tropical storm Gabrielle went right over the Azores yesterday as a weakening 75 to 65 mile an hour storm, so not the worst storm. And now we have Umberto out there. The H storm is ramping up, and it looks like it's going to become a major hurricane, and we're going to track it for days and days and days, and it's going to send a giant ocean groundswell, waves, surf from Florida to Maine over the next 5 days or beyond. And then the other red shaded area, that's going to become Tropical Storm Imelda in the next 24 hours, if not already. And that one is the threat to the southeastern United States. And the guidance is all over the place with that. Here's the spaghetti guidance. Jim Cantori shared this morning, and you see most of the lines for Imelda headed right towards South Carolina. But a couple of them bend it out and take it off without even coming on shore, and a couple of others keep it near the shore for a few days and allowing it to weaken, but it would be a lashing for the shore there. And so this is going to be a really fun and interesting, unless you live right on the coast in South Carolina, storm to watch. And we're going to probably see all our storm chasers coming back from the Philippines and China to intercept this one. And so we brake for heavy equipment. There is Luce's machine on the pile where he can take the boulders from the water side of the concourse and place them in place, and also put them on the other side of the concourse to continue the job around the corner. As the seasons change, these workers have been here through it all. How much rain did you get at your house, by the way, yesterday? I picked up about an inch, and here's the rainfall big picture with the colored dots. And the colored dots, all those oranges and reds, are more than 2 inches. And they're, I don't know if anyone got 8 inches in New England. I didn't see that. I think that 8 is for somewhere else in the country. Then if you close in on a couple of different areas, it looks like 3 inches in Wilmington, Vermont, there in the lower left part of that one, and then 2.9 in Sandwich, New Hampshire, near Lake Winnipesaukee. So yeah, it turned into a 2 to 4 inch rainstorm, just like the NAM and most of the guidance said. So that part worked out. And if we look at the 48-hour rainfall for both Wednesday and Thursday, this was not in any of the forecasts of 4.5 inches of rain near Warwick, Rhode Island, right in central Rhode Island. Bristol, Rhode Island, Bill Nelson says he got pretty close to 4 inches of rain, so that's a month's worth of rain in just 2 days. It's very welcome. And on Cape Cod, the 1 to 2 inches of rain came on Wednesday. That was kind of a major surprise for me. As I said, that would probably be on the caboose, which the caboose was yesterday. And there were no reports of any severe weather, no tornadoes yesterday, so we managed to dodge that little threat. And so now how are we going to deal with this hurricane threat? Well, it's not a hurricane threat for New England, at least not in the next 10 days. So Chuck Nolan, when Danielle was talking about Invest 94 could become Imelda, that was pretty impressive talk. And Chuck says, what's the Euro say? Well, let's go to the Euro and let's see what it says. And here it is, the Euro model. I'm going to show this. They call it the tropical sector from pivotalweather.com. This is a free site. You can go on there, look at all the different models and pick the tropical southwestern Atlantic Ocean, and on the right is Umberto deepening to a major hurricane. It's going to be a Category 5, it looks like, almost guaranteed, because most of the guidance has it that way, and this Euro certainly does. And then there's Imelda coming off north of Cuba, and it's, rewind a little bit, sorry. I want you to notice what happens here in New England. I'm going to start this again tomorrow morning. This is the wave on a front south of New England, clipping southern New England with some rain tomorrow night. So it would be after the Eldridge Farm party and before church on Sunday morning that we may get a quick 1/4 of an inch of rain in spots. Yeah, these fronts, these waves on fronts. All right, now let's go to the big picture back again. And I have to show it in this perspective so we can see all the way from Cuba to New England. That's why you see the bits of video on the side there, because I just can't fit the thing in right. So here it is now, the Euro, and we go back to after that rain goes by on Sunday and to Monday. Now there's Umberto on the right and there's Imelda on the left. Now the Fujiwara'd would have those circle one another and become a single storm. I don't know who started that rumor. I haven't seen any guidance. This clearly shows they are separate. Imelda is headed for South Carolina, and looks like threading the needle between North Carolina, a button hook around Bermuda, is Umberto with the central pressure in the mid-935 millibar range, mid-930s. That is a major hurricane. It's going to have ramifications at the ocean with the big waves and the fact that we're going to have such a strong pressure gradient with high coming into New England. We're going to get windy too, but it's more from the high from Canada, which is the hurricane repellent. And look at Imelda, had stalled there, didn't make landfall. Now Wednesday, it's sitting off the shore and it's starting to weaken a little bit. It's going to use up some of its energy. And then it tries to come in on about Thursday or so as Umberto is gone to the right. And here in New England, we're just having beautiful weather with that high, first being a windy high, then a calm high, and very warm, nice weather next week as we watch the remnant of Imelda come up the coast here and clip us next Saturday or Sunday with some rain next Saturday into Sunday. That's probable, I'd say it's about a 55% probability that that could actually happen. And now this takes us out to day 10, which is October 5th. And we have the fronts kind of stalled. Another front with the remnant of a melda here over the northeastern United States. And a chance of some showers there, otherwise pretty nice. And if I show you that day 10 map from coast to coast, I'll change the perspective here just to show you day 10, where there is some wintry weather there on the Powder Highway where British Columbia meets Alberta, Canada. On the upper left there, that's a storm track across Canada, so most of the nation is really warm. You see the 570 thickness way up into the central and southern plains. That's warm to hot, almost record hot. I've talked about record warm a bunch around here. I think we're going to ultimately get some at some point, before it snows anyway. And then in New England, we have that little remnant system stalled right here with not much else going on. That would probably push out, but quiet coast to coast for the most part at that point. But we've had shots across the bow with some wintry weather in the Rockies, wintry weather in the Alps this week. We've got the hurricanes. It's so busy. And that's it for the weather part of this, as our Maine Coon cat Mitt sits below the cat Mint, which is really healthy. And there's a big bumblebee on there, so gardens are going to stay active. No threat of a freeze or frost in New England for the next 5 to 10 days. No hurricane threat either. The Enmore from yesterday, it was a trying day with the weather. I got the video published early, and then I got Fujiwara'd. I was driving Jenny to Boston, to the Longwood area, and somebody cut us off and clipped the front of the car and got out and started swearing at me, and like, what did I do? I was just taking my time in the left lane. I think I wasn't driving fast enough for him in bumper-to-bumper traffic. I had left a little bit of a gap between me and the person in front of me, which I guess that gap is not allowed in some people's eyes. And it was interesting. I smelled some KGB in the air, some wafting green bud odor when I asked him for his registration, and he got in his car and drove away without giving me his registration. Actually, it was a big box truck. Oh yeah, so we got insurance to do. And the rain, frustrating definitely with trying to drive into Boston with all that rain. But we got back here and it was a much more relaxing afternoon, just kind of watching the rain and a few weather tidbits and how I'm not going to show all the highlights of the Enmore as much. I'm going to try and make these faster, so I'm not going to show the highlights. Just here's what you get. It's kind of like a potpourri of Enmore. We call it Yesterday's Weather Today. Enmore beginning at 7:25 a.m. the day before. This is yesterday's weather. Today it's steady light rain right now, and Steve is kind of tied up. And you want to come inside while Tim gets on the road. And let's just take a look at the excavating team. Not making too much noise this morning, figures, when I get up at 5 a.m. There's a pile of boulders, and there's Loose way up on his man-made dirt elevation system, dirt scaffolding for an excavator. All right, so we'll see the before and the after. Tide's gonna come in, and at the end of the day, we'll see if those rocks look about the same, because the tide comes in and then it's gonna go out again as we head in that direction. How much rain? A lot of times I say there's no place else on earth I'd rather be. It's true right now too. I love this rain, but we've got Danielle and Chuck and Tyler and Ginny. The slower it goes, the better off we are. Not in a hurry. It's Thursday.
I know, I seen you. It's okay. I got registration too, you fucking cocksucker.
What do I do to you, man? Where are we now?
We're on Route Nav, approaching the Jamaica Way.
And that used to be a Howard Johnson's?
Yes.
And we went there?
Yes.
Your nursing school?
After my graduation.
Neat. Can we go back this afternoon? You think they still have some cheeseburgers in there?
I love it.
What color is the light? Oops. Oh, fun. Oh, fun, 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 fun. We're getting some deep puddles now. Get the dust down. Almost there. It's Cam Neely.
It'll help raise money and also last for 2 hours. It's not much better than that.
Oh.
Look at you becoming like a comedy promoter. You should open up your own comedy club, like Camp Chuckle Hut or something.
Oh, I like it.
You know?
Yeah. The problem with getting to like those hospitals is the traffic sometimes.
I just love stand-up comedy. I think watching these comedians perform and do their bits and remember how to tie a story together is really quite impressive to me.
Man, you gotta have a lot of courage to get up in front of 15,000 people and do stand-up.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, especially when Dennis finds these up and comers and they're like, wait a minute, I'm going to be at the TD Garden. That's got to be a little nerve-wracking, but they somehow they're able to pull it off.
And it was just beginning to do a little flash flooding there on the parkway, and now stop and shop for egg salad sandwich. Beautiful day. Just driving in circles till you find a parking garage. By the time you find a parking spot, maybe it's time to go home. Yeah. Okay, let's rest here for a few minutes. 10:10 a.m. out the door. Up on what, the 5th floor of a parking garage where there's still no spots available here. So we're just circling around. We've got an issue. That whole parking lot for Brigham's is full. Roads are jammed. It's always more peaceful up on a roof though, isn't it? When in doubt, go higher. Just got a video from Peter Hecking on Cape Cod where it rained hard yesterday. He said the sun's trying to come through. That's a nice looking yard you got there, Peter. I want to come down and spend some time with you. Looks a little bit more peaceful than here high above Brookline and Francis Street, looking west. At least the rain's lit up for a second. There was some deep puddles coming in. There's no parking, so we just come up and go around and around. The weatherman gets out of his car, just starts making a video. Hey, can you see me now? Hi. Oh, that was a fairly trying morning. 12:30 in the afternoon now. That heavier rain earlier was north side of a warm front. Warm front has since gone by. Now we await the thunderstorms with the cold front, probably not making it into southeastern New England, so we may be done. The feel of Florida. Feels like the dew point's 70. I haven't checked yet, and although it's not raining, evidence that it rained pretty good here. Water cascading down Great Hill. Let's go check the rain gauge. Down the hill, but not into the yard, which is nice. I just looked at the radar. Oh my goodness. And who commented? Somebody commented. Did they call for flash flooding near Providence in southeastern Massachusetts today? No, we did not. Wow, flash flood warnings, and that rain looks like it's headed our way. If it holds together, we're going to add to our 0.55. It's hard to see, isn't it? Trust me, it says 0.55 in there so far today. Oh, look at this bonus. Bonus on my sunflower. I got new little baby sunflowers coming. And somebody also commented about the Montauk, saying, Tim, thanks for talking about the Montauk. Yeah, this is one of my favorite because it blooms in late September. And this one's in really good shape. Long way to go, Steve. Better conserve some time and energy for the downpours headed our way. T-Rex. Oh, starting to rain again, Steve. I think it's going to be a short outside. Wow, look how much they moved that pile of rocks over. And the whole elevated area there, it looks like it's been moved down, so they're making progress. Gonna be around the corner. Won't be able to see you working for a while. Pretty soon. Except for when you do something with that spot right there. And dew point only 65 in Boston, I just checked, even though it feels more humid. But the dew point is 70 in New Bedford, so it is a play-by-play day. More heavy rain incoming. More and more and more. That wall of water, that downpour that just came across Bristol County, Rhode Island, Bristol County, Massachusetts is right on our doorstep. Oh, no, Steve is right on our doorstep, anticipating that wall of water. You want to watch it from here, Steve? That way I don't have to go out and get you. Little Lake Florida. A little water coming down the driveway, most of it not. That's nice. But this batch of rain lightening up a little bit. The sky is getting lighter, but it looks like we're going to get some training downpours. So that's when you get rain, it lets up a little bit, and then you get more rain, and had many reports of flash flooding upstream already. Keep that away from here, please. Thank you. Anonymous. Burning bush starting to burn. Putting out the flames with these rains. 5 o'clock. Another pretty good downpour coming in. And I'm reminded of that science about how fresh water floats on top of salt water because fresh water is a little less dense than salt water. And that would be a river of fresh water floating on top of salt water. Focus. It's focusing on the window. There it is. Neat, huh? It's a après deck party in the indoors, and we've got mid 70s. We've got popcorn, and we've got some entertainment here. We've got I forget the name. I actually looked up the name of this spider. I had one last year for months and months, and he's consuming some kind of delicacy, I think otherwise known as a black ant.
He's happy.
He's got a little stage fright right now. Oh, no, it's got wings. Whatever it has wings. Had wings. 'Tis the season for spooky stuff, right? He was just consuming. Oh, 3 lenses, hard to focus. So much going on. That ant just ran up and captured his dinner. Another dinner. He's feasting. But I was on the phone with Charlie Orloff, who said 1.8 inches of rain on Cape Cod. And I said, nobody forecasts that. Oh. And so then Doug reminds me of this old saying from that man on the wall right there. Don Kent passed it down to Doug Kent. Mother Nature makes the final call.
Final call.
Yeah, final call for that poor little fly. And that's a wrap on today. 70 degrees. Kind of finishing how it started. A little more damp, a little warmer. Warm front didn't really get too far north of us, but the rain I think is done in the Boston area. We've got symmetric coon cats. Those are Maine coons, in case you're new here, Steve and Mitt. Yeah, right. Like they need an introduction. There's still some action over Pennsylvania, but no severe weather, just that flash flooding there, Providence and Bristol, Rhode Island. Bill, how much rain did you get at your house? And so we checked here, it was at 0.55 before that second batch of real heavy rain came in, just exactly at 1 inch. So 1 inch, and that's some of the least amount of rain. And now time-lapse time with the excavator out there for a time this morning. I missed all the work you did, Luce, but it looks like you made progress moving the dirt and the rocks around before the tide came in. Batches of rain, 0 sunshine. It got bright once or twice. Felt like we needed sunglasses and windshield wipers there for a minute coming back from Boston. Very busy day. And there's a clearer look. That pile of rocks definitely moved, right? It was closer to us before. And the pile of dirt definitely moved. And I'm zooming, so I have to talk louder because this is the iPhone microphone. Here comes a tugboat. So we'll look at the time lapse now of Bass River Beauty, Cape Cod. Not as much rain on Cape Cod today. At least we get that part of the forecast right. You had all your rain yesterday. And Cape Cod, having missed all that severe weather, now coming on 3 Saturdays ago, will make this the 13th nice Saturday in a row on Cape Cod. Eldridge Farm Party. See you there. Still on the warm side. We're in the warm sector here in Boston, so we may get a shower or a thunderstorm before the night's over. That flag from the southwest. That tugboat taking its time. So that's a wrap on a very busy Thursday in the year of Thursday fronts. It's happy hour for Mitt. Getting out of here in time for a fairly nice weekend. As the tropics light up. Lots of questions. More questions than answers. Mother Nature has the final say. Thanks for watching. Talk to you tomorrow.